On this edition of Fine Spun Tales, we are looking at The Player of Games, the second book published in the Culture Universe by Ian M. Banks. This is video 1 in a series of 3. If you like the book, there is a link in the description to buy a copy. Narration is generated with tools from OpenAI. Section 1. Dust drifts with each footstep as Gurgay limps across the desert, following a suited figure. Inside his suit, he is shielded from the harsh environment, despite his damaged visor and leg. Missiles suddenly appear and begin firing, forcing Gurgay and his group to respond. Gurgay struggles to aim, feeling the suit's damage, and accidentally shoots his teammate, Ye. The chaos ends with Gurgay incapacitated, and a voice declares him dead. Awakening, Gurgay removes his helmet, greeted by Ye, who critiques his performance. She tries to interest him in the game, but he dismisses it as childish. They return to the clubhouse, encountering a fan who admires Gurgay's gaming prowess. Ye questions his disdain for the simulated combat, while he muses on the false nature of such games compared to real achievements. Despite their differences, they plan to meet again, leaving Gurgay contemplating the wreckage of the game. Jernal Gurgay stands on a terrace overlooking a dark, cloudy lake, surrounded by the distant lights of college buildings. The lively party behind him exudes a mix of laughter, music, and sense of food as he contemplates the game he is about to play. Engulfed in the rush of sharp blue, a cognitive-enhancing drug, Gurgay analyzes the game style of his upcoming opponent, realizing he can easily master it. As the drug's effects stabilize, he decides to let the mental enhancement fade and returns to the party. Inside, Gurgay is approached by a small, annoying drone named Maureen Skell, which teases him about his opponent. Gurgay reassures the young player, Stemley Fours, and quickly defeats him in a game of 4 colors. The crowd's reaction is mixed, and Maureen Skell makes a disparaging comment before floating away. Gurgay mingles with guests, including the Professor Borwellal and the ancient drone Chamlis Amalkni, who mention a promising new student skilled in a complex game called Stricken. The conversation is interrupted by a commotion caused by Maureen Skell, who had dissected a wounded bird, upsetting the partygoers. Despite this, Gurgay is intrigued by the mention of the new student, eager to meet her and test her abilities. As the party continues, Gurgay and Chamlis Amalkni decide to step outside for some fresh air, joining others on the terrace to watch the fireworks. Reflecting on his earlier experiences, Gurgay feels a mix of restlessness and dissatisfaction, even as he engages with the vibrant social scene around him. The fireworks begin, and Gurgay contemplates his next challenge, still driven by his insatiable desire for new and stimulating games. Rain lashes the windows of Gurgay's home, warping the view of the fjord and mountains. Inside, Ye stokes the fire while Chamlis, a drone, floats nearby. Gurgay enters with drinks, asking Ye about their game. Ye admits defeat, and Gurgay demonstrates the winning move. They discuss the game and their surroundings, noting the unique smell of the wood burning in the hearth. Ye expresses frustration with her conservative colleagues, yearning for more radical landscaping projects. Ye proposes a bold idea: floating islands held aloft by magnetic fields. Chamlis and Gurgay debate the feasibility and excitement of such a concept. Ye, undeterred by their skepticism, heads out for a run in the rain, leaving Chamlis and Gurgay to continue their conversation. Gurgay confides his disillusionment with games and life, feeling that even new games lack the thrill of genuine stakes. Chamlis suggests seeking novelty through Contact, an organization known for its resourcefulness, but Gurgay remains skeptical. Ye returns, soaked from her run, and Chamlis helps dry her off. As the evening progresses, more guests arrive and the group engages in lively discussions. Gurgay attempts to woo Ren Miglin, who ultimately leaves with the others. Gurgay, Ye, and Chamlis finish their card game before parting ways. Ye suggests Gurgay contact Contact for new challenges, and he agrees. Left alone, Gurgay tidies up and contemplates the evening's events. He checks the damage to his lawn from the departing aircraft and heads back inside, where a light in the tower signals Ren waiting for him. Ye and Chamlis descend in an elevator to an underground transit gallery beneath the orbital plate, where they board a car and discuss the possibility of contacting the organization Contact to help their friend Gurgay. Chamlis is cautious, but knows some trustworthy minds in contact. Ye is optimistic about Gurge's resilience and social support. They part ways, with Chambliss heading home and Ye planning a social encounter. Meanwhile, Gurge, working late at his desk, steps onto his balcony to dictate a new paper. When he returns, he observes Ren sleeping fitfully, puzzled by her apparent nightmares. Gurge spends the next 2 days reading papers, finishing his own work, and catching up on correspondence, rejecting various requests. He becomes intrigued by a claim of a game based on the topography of individual snowflakes, though he suspects it's a joke. After some leisurely activities like swimming and watching entertainment, he receives a surprise visit from a contact drone representing the contact section, which inquires about his willingness to travel for an unspecified game-related opportunity. Gurge is initially skeptical, but agrees to the possibility of traveling for half a year. The drone abruptly leaves, causing Gurge to feel confused and somewhat insulted. He tries to contact the drone and gets confirmation from the hub that the visit was legitimate and significant. He discusses the encounter with his friend Chambliss, who believes Contact was sizing him up for a mission. Though Gurge feels he might have missed a significant opportunity, he also considers it a possible narrow escape. Gurge, feeling the need to escape, decides to take a scenic route to Trons rather than the underground car. He hikes over the mountain and flags down an antique train. On board, he encounters Mr. Drelltram, a man eager to challenge Gurge in a game of possession. They set up the game on the train's roof deck, and Gurge, enjoying the challenge, plays without the aid of any glanded substances, even giving Drelltram a significant advantage. As the train moves through stunning landscapes, Gurge realizes he hasn't checked the location of his hidden piece in the game. Amidst the clutter on their table, he mistakenly picks up Drelltram's minecards, causing an awkward moment. Gurg apologizes, finds his hidden piece, and feels a profound, unexpected sensation of excitement and fear, reminiscent of his first significant experiences in both gaming and life. Drelltram, understanding the innocent mistake, laughs it off, and they continue their game as the train presses on through the ravine. Gurge plays a high-stakes game and, in a rare and unfortunate twist of fate, loses by placing his heart piece in jeopardy. When his opponent, Mr. Drelltram, points out his mistake, Gurge faces the embarrassing reality of his loss. Instead of keeping the heart piece as a memento, Gurge opts for the ceramic wafer that contributed to his defeat. Later, at a concert in Trons, Gurge becomes irritable after the game's fiasco. He harshly dismisses a young man's suggestion for a new game, quoting his own works on game theory. As he continues to engage dismissively, the drone Marin Skell interrupts, announcing it has found Gurge's young adversary, a girl named Ols Hap, who is eager to meet him. At a party hosted by Estre Haflis, Gurge meets Ols Hap, who is invited to play the game Stricken with him. Despite feeling uneasy and distracted, Gurge agrees to the game, while Marin Skell looks forward to the upcoming challenge. Haflis loans his ancient Stricken set, and a supply drone quickly brings another from a store. They set it up on a balcony overlooking Roaring Falls. Professor Borwell requests adjudicating drones to prevent cheating. Marin Skell suggests Chambliss Amalkni represent Gurge, and Gurge agrees. Chambliss arrives, provoking Marin Skell's anger, causing a scene. Chambliss dismisses the outburst, and the game begins. Stricken, played on a three-dimensional web, uses synthetic materials instead of traditional ones. Gurge and Ulshap prepare their beads in hollow globes, and the adjudicating drones ensure fairness as they place the spheres in the web, starting the game. Gurge faces a skilled opponent, Ulshap, in a tense game where she exhibits impressive luck and strategic prowess. She anticipates his moves, captures his pieces, and evades his traps, aiming for a full web, a rare and prestigious victory. Despite his struggles, Gurge admires her audacity and ambition, realizing she isn't intimidated by his reputation. As the game progresses into the early hours, both players' focus wanes. Gurge sees a slim chance for a full web himself, and during a break, contemplates his luck and the nature of the game with Marin Skell, a drone. Marin Skell offers to help Gurge cheat by revealing the positions of Hap's pieces, tempting him with the prospect of a historic win. After much deliberation and feeling the weight of the moment, Gurge accepts Marin Skell's help. However, Hap's skill ultimately prevents him from achieving the full web. Gurgay wins by 31 points, just shy of breaking the culture's existing record. He reflects on the thin line between skill and luck in his pursuit of greatness, feeling a mixture of triumph and unease about the lengths he went to secure his victory. Estray Halfless's house drone, while cleaning, finds a shattered ceramic wafer with numbered dials, which it discards as debris. Meanwhile, Jernau Gurgay wakes up, remembering his bitter victory in the stricken match. His hand hurts from crushing the possession wafer during the game. He walks along the fjord, heading towards his childhood home, Hassiis, braving the cold wind and approaching storm. On his walk, Gurgay encounters Marin Skell, a small drone who insists on speaking to him about the game. Annoyed, Gurgay tries to brush off the drone, but it forcibly paralyzes him. Marin Skell reveals it has recorded Gurgay's cheating in the game and demands Gurgay help it rejoin contact, using the recording as blackmail. Gurgay, stunned and helpless, listens as Marin Skell explains the severity of its predicament and the extent of its desperation. Gurgay eventually agrees to help, realizing the gravity of the situation and the drone's capabilities. Marin Skell leaves, and Gurga, soaked and shaken, walks back to Hassias, contemplating the drone's demands. The next day, still troubled, Gurgay seeks advice from the old drone Chambliss, asking if it can discreetly find out more about Contact's interest in him. Chambliss agrees to contact the ships for information, while Gurgay wrestles with his predicament, feeling the pressure of Marin Skell's blackmail. Gurgay returns to Ikro, disposes of his dirty clothes in the fire, and takes a series of baths to cleanse himself. While sitting by the fire, he contacts Hub, suspecting he is being watched. Hub reassures him and sends drones to sweep the house for bugs. Gurgay probes Hub's information banks and discovers that Marin Skell's claims about recording their conversation could be legitimate, which leaves him anxious and fearful of blackmail. The next morning, Gurgay visits Chambliss in Selek and asks for help, but refrains from revealing too much. On his way back, Hub informs him that the gunboat Diplomat is relatively nearby, confirming the potential threat of Marin Skell's blackmail. Gurgay feels trapped, regretting his decision to cheat, and realizing the severe implications if the recordings are released. Despite Hub's supportive communication, Gurgay remains deeply troubled. He is caught in a web of paranoia and regret, fearing the loss of his reputation and the consequences of his actions. The scene concludes with Gurgay's lingering anxiety as he contemplates the message from the gunboat Diplomat, indicating ongoing surveillance. Jernau Morat Gurgay spends several days in a restless state, unable to focus on reading or his work. His attempts to use drugs for concentration leave him feeling worse. Isolated, he avoids calls and communicates briefly with his friend Chambliss, but learns little from their conversations. Frustrated, he walks long distances through the forests and mountains around his home in Ikra. On the fourth day, while sitting in a tree, Gurgay spots a small drone near his house. The drone approaches him and introduces itself as Werthil from Contact. Werthil explains that it has come to share information about a significant discovery that might interest Gurgay, but it must be kept confidential. Werthil describes the Empire of Azad, located in the Lesser Cloud, and its unique game called Azad, which is so integral to the Empire that its name is derived from it. The game is a complex and demanding competition used to determine the Empire's rulers and influence its social, economic, and political structures. The game board and its rules are vast and intricate, making it the most complex game Gurgay has ever encountered. Werthil invites Gurgay to travel to the Lesser Cloud to learn and compete in Azad. The journey would take nearly 2 years each way, meaning Gurgay would be away for about 5 years. Despite the Empire's barbaric practices, including wagers involving physical punishments, the challenge of mastering Azad fascinates Gurgay. However, he is hesitant to commit to such a long absence and the intense preparation required. Gurgay deliberates the proposal, recognizing the significance of the game, but unsure about the extensive commitment. He asks for more time to think and requests further information about Azad, postponing his decision as he considers the implications of leaving his home and dedicating himself to this unprecedented challenge. In the culture, losing one's terminal often leads to trouble, as it is a vital link to safety and assistance. Jernau Gerge, a master game player, keeps his terminal on him during long walks. One day, as he takes photos with it near Ikro, he receives a call from Ye. Their conversation is cut short when his terminal unexpectedly dies. Immediately after, a drone named Marin Skell confronts him, pressuring him to help it regain its former status in special circumstances by using Gerge's influence. Gerge debates joining Contact, the culture's exploratory and diplomatic arm, but he is unsure. Gerge confides in his old friend, the drone Chambliss, who advises caution. Despite this, Gerge decides to accept the mission offered by Contact. He is intrigued by the game Azad and sees an opportunity to escape Marinskell's threats. Gerge prepares for his departure, attending a farewell party where his friends and former lovers celebrate his journey. He receives a token gift from Chambliss and reflects on his decision. The next morning, he completes his packing and waits for his transport, the warship limiting factor. Marin Skell appears briefly to thank Gerge, as its appeal for reinstatement has been reopened due to Gerge's intervention. Finally, Gerge boards the limiting factor and is briefed on the ship's amenities and modifications for his journey. As the ship departs from Ikro, Gerge watches his home recede and contemplates the adventure ahead, heading towards the Empire of Azad with a mix of anticipation and uncertainty. That concludes part 1 of 3, where we cover The Player of Games, a culture novel by Ian M. Banks. If you like this story, the book fills in many details with a lot of world building. Check the description for a link to buy a copy. If you want to help support the channel, consider buying a copy of our app Count Currency on iPhone, published by Finespun Software. Join us in part 2, where Gerge reaches Azad and begins the tournament. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.